All right, so this is a Thursday morning or Thursday morning coffee rant with Dan, and I am a little fucking pissed. It's humorous to a degree, if it wasn't so completely like I don't even have the adjective this early in the morning to even explain it. I was recently put on a 48-hour ban on Facebook for posting something that was truth and wishing the world healing, but I guess they didn't like the way I did it, so I got a ban. And if the post came, um, they only let people see part of the post and not my whole post. They took most of it down, and I had people get mad at me because that's someone I respect get mad at me about it. And then I luckily like to keep screen captures and stuff like that and say, hey, this is what Facebook didn't let me post. And you might not agree with this or whatever, but understand that government inherently is immoral through its very existence. No human being has a right to rule over another human being. So let me get to this. I'll just do it this way. And as you can see, I cleaned up my desktop a little bit. So I asked a question about what happened with a certain somebody, and I posted this, and there were some other things that happened because of this. And this was my reply, okay? And this is what Facebook banned me over. All right, I am directing this at my left-wing leaning friends, who I know are intelligent, and more left middle than far left. Okay, this is an obvious false flag fake stage event. I'm not directing this at my right-leaning friends who are intelligent because of obvious political divisiveness between the cults of the donkey and the cults of the elephant. And yes, they're both cults. You shouldn't vote. You have no right to choose someone else's ruler. And you need to think of it that way. I mean, really. What is objectively right? What is objectively wrong? Okay, morals are not subjective. Man is not the arbitrator of truth. Man can't decide what is moral and what is immoral. God's already decided that. Okay, for us through natural law. And I go on to say, hey, I'm praying that someday you both realize that no one has any inherent rights to rule over either of you. And I'm talking to people on the left and right. If you're a person who understands the pandemic was faked and the vaccines are dangerous and are conspiracies, please understand that what you have witnessed the last 2+ years has been carefully scripted street theater aimed at creating hate and division. It is either all conspiracy or none of it is, or really think about it. And I put that in there for a reason because I've got some fairly intelligent friends that are kind of moderate left who know that the vaccine is definitely some bullshit, definitely, but they think certain other political theater is real, okay? And I've worked plain clothes and some undercover stuff here and there. I had some training in the military on basics of propaganda and psyops. I know what I'm looking at. Where's the people that are more intelligent and smarter than me? Okay, this knuckle-dragging caveman. Yeah, if I know this shit, there's other people who do it. Honestly, folks, I think some of the people on with certain political agendas, they know the truth too, but they're too ego ensconced and media entrenched to admit it. They won't admit they're wrong. People just can't do that. I'm talking to both sides. Talking to both sides respectfully. Talking to both sides. And I go on to say, uncalcify your egos. The world will not fall to a one world, new world order government if America is united. And, he's a conspiracy theorist. Listen, man, the word conspiracy and the word theory or theorist are two different complete words that do not need to be hyphenated. There are actual theories and there are actual conspiracies. For instance, a conspiracy can be described as when two or more people conspire, plot and plan, in private, something that is immoral and that is going to benefit them and be a detriment to others. We know the government has never done that, right? Of course not. They don't lie. Basically, a conspiracy is a lie. Let me think here. No, the government doesn't do that. Uh, they want to create division through Hegelian dialectics of black versus white, poor versus poor, millennials versus boomers, left versus right, male versus female, urban versus rural. I pray for peace and world healing. Got me banned on Facebook. But more importantly, I pray that you all unplug your televisions and completely disengage voting and all their other games. Dan, pretty simple message on Facebook. And really, this is engaging dross. I understand. I shouldn't be actually even doing it. But I figured it'd be worth, let me get back here, it'd be worth sharing that. Probably won't engage the dross anymore because it's, it's counterproductive. It gets me aggravating. I was going to stay off of, aggravated, I should say. I was going to stay off of Facebook. I'm going to post little philosophical messages here and there. Maybe some shorts that I did with David Icke and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into this tit for tat with people who are determined to see their own freedom completely ruined. And I'm talking to anybody who does not understand, can't put together this puzzle that's like it's like a toddler puzzle. It's not one of those 3,000, 4,000 piece puzzles. It's a real simple, like 9-10 piece puzzle, man, what I'm seeing. And if you can't put it together and you're not speaking up and you know this is bullshit going on in the world, you are actually complicit in the continuation and complete enslavement of humanity is what you're complicit in. Okay? You need to speak up. You need to speak up. It needs to quit being people like me who are far from perfect, man. If I can speak up, then anybody should be able to speak up. Speak up and tell the truth. Okay, I'm speaking to anybody in the world who sees this. It's just the most important thing you can do right now. If you're not, and you know what's going on, you are complicit with evil. You're complicit with the continued enslavement of all of humanity. Because that's what's coming. It's coming. You need to listen. Remember, we tried to warn you, okay? If I was to get angry and say, listen, you fucking idiots, can you actually do your own research? I think that'd be bad and mean of me, so of course I'm not going to say that. I'm gonna plead to the humanity of anybody who sees this to understand that me praying for the world to heal is not something Facebook should take down. Okay, I guess that's bad. I shouldn't do that. At any rate, I don't know if I'm going to do an actual tag chat this week, but I wanted to put some kind of a little coffee rant out there. I'm going to post this whole video on YouTube. Hopefully, I don't take it down. I don't think I said anything in here about anything specific enough and then be like, oh, that was misinformation. No, I'm giving an opinion on some things, and I didn't talk about anything you should be taking my shit down for. Okay? And that's something we need to think about, too. We need to think about, I don't have to say, well, it's my First Amendment right for this, and it's my Second Amendment right for that. Fuck those amendments. I don't need those. The Creator already gave me those. The Creator already gave you those. So I'm not going to, talk about what my rights are. I know what my fucking rights are. Under natural law. I have a right to speak my opinion. Everybody does. Okay, so if you're on a platform speaking your opinion, you should be allowed to. Or, if certain topics are too taboo to be spoken about on social platforms, social media, anti-social media platforms, if they're taboo, they should be taboo across the board. Not just one side's allowed to, but the other side isn't. Okay? This is how every communist, Marxist, Nazi regime has ever done their dirty. And many, many years later, people always say, those ones that were rebels, they were actually the ones that were right. They were brave. That's who I want to be. That's how I'd be. No, that's not how you'd be. Okay? Also, I'm not religious in the colloquial sense, although I'm spiritual and understand that there is a higher force than man and power on this earth that's diametrically opposed to what's going on right now. But I wanted to say, Jesus was a rebel. He was an anarchist because he didn't believe in being ruled. He was a rebel. Okay, remember that. There's been many people like him throughout the centuries. He was chasing people around with switches and flipping over tables because he was angry and he was mad at what he was seeing. The Pharisees and Pontius Pilate, the church and the state, pointed the fingers at each other. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the order followers attempted to murder him. Or maybe they did. I've read some things that lead me to believe that the historical figure of Jesus existed. He died in his mid-60s. That's from the book of the Essenes. There's 3 of those books, worth the read. I'm not going to get into tit for tat on biblical stuff. All that stuff is convoluted and contradicting on purpose, made as a control mechanism. But Jesus was the first real justice warrior, social justice warrior. Jesus had a lot to teach in natural law, okay? And he was a rebel. Nowadays, he'd be called a conspiracy theorist or a false prophet. You know, you really, really, really have to do some reading, man. It's not that hard. But yeah, my main message for this Thursday and for this week is, turn off your TVs. Turn the fucking televisions off. Get out in nature. And don't listen to all this fear porn they're throwing at you, man. I didn't even know about a certain event that happened. I don't even want to say what it was. Okay? But it happened rather recently. Okay, and, my name's Thor, right? I like Thor. We know what Thor likes to, throw around and stuff. I'll just leave that much of a hint. Okay? There was a happening. I didn't even know what happened. I just kept seeing memes about it. And I asked, did something happen with so-and-so? And then I get that link. I look at the link. I look at this person's breakdown on the happenings. What he pointed out seemed it made sense to me. I'm like, yeah, it's political street theater. It happens every election. Okay, seriously. If you know that some of this was faked, if you know some of the things that are going on in the world, if you know the vaccines aren't healthy, you're kind of leery about those. Vaccine hesitancy. Which I like to refer to as common sense, then, like I said, it's either all conspiracy or none of it is, man. Look at the wider, eclectic view of everything. Quit being narrow in your focus on you can't be wrong, okay? Because you're wrong. You are wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's liberating when you could admit you're wrong. Okay, I'm kind of just preaching now and like rambling, but fucking be wrong, and let's free humanity through our being wrong and admitting it. Let's free humanity. Don't vote. Quit playing their fucking games. At any rate, man. So I post something else. Stay safe, man. I love everybody, and I really do wish for healing in the world. And if wishing for healing in the world is going to get me banned again, then I'm going to keep getting banned until they say, hey, this guy's just a rebel because he wants the world to heal. Stay safe till next time.